Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Gymkhana Josh, and welcome to Beyond the Apex, where we talk about motorcycle everything and then some. Sorry about the delay tonight. We had a little technical difficulties. I say we had some technical difficulties. I had some technical difficulties tonight. Lord have mercy. Don't do software updates right before a live broadcast, because that's just going to be a nightmare. I promise you. And luckily we're here. I'm only 5 to 10 minutes late. BPT. We can start a little bit late. You know what I'm saying? But before we get started, I want to say shout out to my girl Chachi. She had a photo shoot this past week, repping some Beyond the Apex apparel. Came out real great. She's been like bringing a bunch of people to our page, talking about the show, and just doing her thing. So thank you, Chachi, and also all you folks that added us on Instagram. Thank you very much as well. We really appreciate the love. We appreciate the attention. And yeah, stick around. Keep coming back, checking out the show, dropping it on Instagram. We have a lot of stuff to do this year, a lot of giveaways, a lot of events going on. Plenty to talk about. Before we get to our guest tonight, though, I want to kick it over to the left-hand side of my screen, or the right-hand side of your screen, to my co-host, Butter. Butter, what's up with your brother? What's going on with you, man?
Well, man, we got some great news, man. This is going to be 2021 is really going to be exciting. I got confirmation Apex gear is in the works. So those of you folks that have supported us from the beginning, I got hats and t-shirts. There will be some special giveaways for our longtime followers who have been with us, since the beginning of the show. So we're going to be coming out with some dope new era snapbacks from Beyond the Apex, some amazing t-shirt, no cheap Gildan shit. We'll have hoodies. We're gonna have some cool shit. Shout outs to our sponsors, Cotton Hustle, Mike's Pro Lit, Certified Knee Draggers. We are going to be lit this fucking summer. I just been asked by Carlos. Me and Carlos just talked about it. I am going to be the official host of the Certified Knee Draggers Days for the rookie novice class. So I'll be rocking with the fellas there, just bringing everybody on board, letting them know what the family ambiance is at New York Safety. There's also going to be some other events out at other tracks that's in the works. I actually posted it today, and I got like 5 people ready to go on board for May 7th. So, my whole thing is to, bring in the whole novice rookie class up there, bring the people who haven't been to the track. So it's going to be really awesome. But before we start the show, I just want to start this new thing that we're going to be doing. We're going to be reviewing products of people who do biker stuff. And this is a quick one. This is going out to my boy, Freedom Blocks, Dennis Diaz. I actually checked out one of his face masks. One of my bros have it. If you haven't checked it out, I've got expensive, and I won't name the brand, but I have expensive face masks. Shits are cool. They're overpriced. I actually checked out the Freedom Blocks one for less of a price. It's warmer. It's better. So if you guys are going to ride in the cold, you need a good face mask, check out the Freedom Block. Go on Dennis Diaz's page or Freedom Blocks Apparel. Check out their face mask. It's pretty fucking dope, warm, and soft. So yeah, definitely. And it's at a better price than all these name brand stuff. So definitely support your local biker. And I'm honored with my guest today. I got 2 amazing fucking guests, man. I got 2 of the most humblest guys at New York Safety Track. I'm gonna kick it off first. I'm gonna let age over beauty. So Sal, you're gonna go second because you're the keto version, and I'll go with the age. Nah, I didn't know who to pick first, but I'm gonna do it in that order anyway. So ladies and gentlemen, Josh, Manny is probably everybody at New York Safety. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm general. Every fucking human being that walks at New York Safety Track is fucking A class. But Manny is probably one of the most humblest guys I've ever met. And when I say humble, he can smoke you on his dirt bike while you're on your leader bike, and he still put a smile while he's doing it. He's actually been very influential to me riding. He's a lot of great pointers. When you reference the fact, when someone's trying to explain something to you and they tell you, explain it to me in layman's terms, that's what Manny does to the track. He explains track and how to move. I mean, it is what it is.
He breaks it down Barney style for everybody.
Yeah, basically. He breaks it down so that even the person with the biggest fears, the biggest like just just butterflies. Manny completely takes that away from you. I remember my first time in Manny's class. I was afraid because I'm a big guy, and I was afraid. And I'm like, "Yo, coach, how is a fat guy like me gonna lean this bike? Now there's like 300 pounds, like in the center of gravity." He's like, "For you, my friend, it's easier." I looked at him like he was fucking crazy. But then I looked at him and I said, "Wait a second, this guy's the coach. Why would he lie to me, right? He just gonna." And I tell you right now, I've never fell, never went down, knock on wood, at New York Safety. I've applied everything that Manny has taught me. And thankfully, my bikes are still standing and I've gotten better. It's not something that happens overnight, but I am going to tell you guys that Manny is one of the coaches at New York Safety that makes life so much easier for you as a first time rider. So, Manny, thank you for getting on the show. It's a pleasure. It's an honor. I love you so much, my brother. Thank you for being on with us tonight.
But thank you, man. That's a big introduction. I don't know how to follow that up, man.
I say you got good taste in brake parts too. It looks like.
Yeah.
Are those the same? Are those the same brakes that Redneck Charlie put on before he went into turn one?
Oh Lord.
Oh. Charlie, man.
I love Charlie. I try to get him on the show with you guys, but his schedule is crazy, man. His schedule is so crazy. So also, Josh, we're gonna bring in another humble giant over at New York Safety, man. For those of you that don't know, I call him the mom and pop of New York Safety. Him and his wife are so hospitable. The first time I've ever met these two people, it was like, at first I didn't know what to expect, right? I'm in a sport. There's, I'm at this track. There's a lot of like Caucasians, here's this Hispanic guy from the hood. I'm over here in the woods and chasing land, fucking Camp Crystal Lake. And I don't know what to expect, right? And here I meet this white Nazi-looking beard motherfucker, Irish guy. He looks like he's ready to kill somebody. And the first thing
perfect intro right there. Perfect
like,
intro.
"Hey, what's up, man?"
We actually
you can't.
We actually did call him convict for the whole first season.
What can I say?
I didn't. I tell you right now, if you look at Sal, you would say, if you're from the hood like I am, you look at Sal and you'd be like, "All right, this guy's not going to give me the time of fucking day." And absolutely wrong, because I met this guy. He extended his hand out to me. He said, "Yo, what's up? My name is Sal. I'm a coach here. And anything you need, I'm available." And he opened his toolbox to me. His wife offered me coffee. I mean, he has three amazing fucking French bulldogs that I just love to go over and pet.
I knew we were going to talk about puppies tonight.
He's that introduction guy.
I knew we were going to talk about puppies.
Yeah, he's that guy at the track, man. And Sal has given me tons of advice. He's actually come over to me and just give me some I don't take it as criticism, because he's the pro, not me. Everything he has told me has actually bettered my riding. And I want to thank you, Sal, for being on the show, and thank you for being a blessing, a part of my riding life.
Thank you guys for having me on the show. Just remember, get those toes up, Butter.
I know.
It's funny too, though.
I'm working on it. I bought new boots.
See, a lot of people know Sal, obviously, as his skill on the track for kind of, dominating New York Safety track, blowing by people on whatever turn. But Sal, actually, when he found out that I was building a bus, Sal reached out to me and he's like, "Hey, dude, you need help with that bus? Holler at me." Unfortunately, Sal's way 6 hours, 7 hours, something north of me. Otherwise, I would have taken advantage of it by now. But he reached out. Apparently, he builds track trailers, right? You build trailers for people as well?
Yep. I build stainless steel tables and some toy hauler stuff. So I've had my hand in that a little bit.
So
he's got the best. Next to Bruce, he's got the best fucking trailer up there. I love Bruce's trailer, man. That's my go-to trailer. That's the one I want. I need an outlaw. Like, I want to just get on my shit and get the fuck out of here. Put my bikes in there.
Right on. So everybody at home, Beyond the Apex 31, we're talking with the track gurus here. We've had some track talk before. Obviously, we've had some guys on. We've had some guys that have coached in the past as well. But as far as right now, the nitty-gritty, down and dirty, you go to New York Safety, the guys that you need to talk to, the guys you need to see and learn from are these two gentlemen right here, Sal and Manny.
Absolutely.
They kind of run.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say you run things, but as far as like out there on the concrete, you kind of run things. And Sal, I've had an opportunity to ride with you before. I'm not even gonna attempt to try and keep up with your ass. But Manny, I know I've talked to you before.
He's on a
but-
300. He's on a
Yo!
300 when he's out there.
Yo,
He's smoking those
yeah, he
300.
dominates
No,
that.
I moved up. I moved up to the 600.
Well, I know you got the CPR, but I see you riding that 300 like you stole it. Like it's insane. It's fucking insane. I'd like to say, and I want to make sure I'm correct. Manny, you actually host the Yamaha Racing School. Am I correct?
Not quite. So I actually was
It's
a
Riders
certified.
Academy.
Yeah, I host the Riders Academy. I was Yamaha certified coach, and after I went through that program, and I helped developing with the program originally. I was the first certified coach that they, and that was back in 2016, give or take. Now, since then, I went through a couple other programs and have a couple certifications as a coach. So, when all that came together, it all added up to becoming the Riders Academy program. And spoke with Greg. We had at that moment, a couple years back now, we had a little bit of a void with the classroom. So, we saw an opportunity. Me and Greg put our some thinking caps on, right? And a great program that seems to be working, right? Butter seems to love it, and it's been growing more and more every year. So Riders Academy, we've been doing the private coaching. We do hopefully this year we get to do some private days. We want to get together hopefully, and it's been really positive for us.
I have to say there the for those of you that are on the chat, I see you guys on the chat. Shout out to Black City. This gentleman here, when I tell you, I can't explain because you have to be there in person to understand what I'm coming from. But when you sit with Manny, it's just like I can't. It's kind of like when Jesus drops the mic. It's kind of like that, right? You know how like it's like because it's like once Manny says it, it's like it sits in your head like okay, like you can't doubt yourself. You know how sometimes.
Brothers, you have to hold on. I have to go get my wife. I want her to hear this.
She can watch the replay. So it's kind of like it's like when you and this is and Manny, this is how I want people to understand how easy it is to work with you in terms of explaining track. Like so there's been times where I second guess myself. I come to you, I get some advice, and then it's like when you explain it, I can't say but if or like because it's like you said it. Now go do it. It's like Yoda, like go do it, my son.
There is no try.
So those people that are like watching on the show that never been to the track that want to come to the track, it's that important because as I've been riding 27 years, and when I met Manny, I looked at myself and I said, "Wow, you've been committing suicide. You've been trying to commit suicide for 27 years, even as much as you telling me to move my toes out, like little things like that." And it's so crazy because people don't understand, and not everyone can explain how to ride a bike. A lot of people think, "Oh, my buddy taught me to counter steer and this, that, and the third." Yo, when I came in the classroom and I said shit like that, man, he was like, "No, no, 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 no. That shit is all wrong, bro. Let me explain to you how it's done." And then he started showing us his boots with these big ass holes in the bottom. And I'm like, wow, this guy just fucked my whole head up. But I want you, Manny, to explain to the viewers out there and people who've never been to track how important it is to come up there.
Well, it's like you said, you've been riding for many years. You got years experience under your belt, and the saying is, do you have years of riding experience with what 20 years repeated experience, or what kind of experience do you have? When you come to the track, we can actually try to help you pinpoint the habits that you might have, the proper habits that you might have or the improper habits which most people do develop over time, which is the scary part, because you end up learning how to maneuver your bike improperly, unsafely, and you're making it work and you're forcing it to work. And We with the Riders Academy, we like to say that bad habits work until they don't. So, but that's the thing is that's when we lose our friends. Yeah, and that's when our sport diminishes. Every single time we lose a friend on the street, every single time something negative happens like that, that we don't lose that one person, we lose, a couple people around them also. So, for every like yourself, you're a perfect example of this. We try to preach to you the proper way to do this, and now you're out here trying to get more people into this because you're still alive, you enjoy riding, and now you're trying to preach, you're trying to preach to others, the same thing.
I tell people 3 things I learned the first day I met you. 3 things that I was completely doing wrong: foot position, how to steer the bike, and body shifting. Those are 3 things I never did while riding in the street prior to coming to the track. Those are 3 things that most people do. Most people are counter steering. They're not using their body positioning. Their feet are not in the right place. I remember you telling me, and Sal even telling me, you're going to chop your toes off, bro. You're going to go so low, your toes are going to fucking blow off. And I'm like, how could I get that low until I tipped my toe for the first time? I was like, whoa. But it was tipping my toe. It was
How's
really
that go
tipping
again?
my toe. Yeah. It was really tipping my toes because I listened to the body positioning. I listened to what you said about, shifting my body, and I got the bike so low that I didn't realize my foot was sticking out that far. And then I realized why your feet were where they're supposed to be and why you got big ass holes in your shoes, because it works. It's crazy.
There's a proper way that the bike was designed to be used, that's what leads us to use those tires properly. And, that's what leads us to be safe, really. The last thing I really like to, with the Riders Academy, we like to teach is we're actually not really there to teach you to really go fast. I want to teach you to be safe and comfortable. If I could get you comfortable on the motorcycle, you're going to go fast on your own. So the more we can get you comfortable on that thing, the more you start smiling, the more that throttle starts happening, and that you're out there with your buddies, you're sucking more people into the sport, and it's a good time for everybody, right? You come with your family, and it's fun.
So
it's funny you say that, because since the first time I went on the track, with all the years experience, I never left second gear. Now I'm at the track and I'm in fifth gear. So there's definitely a lot of improvement, because you're right. I didn't think about it, right? I'm in second gear the whole first time I'm there thinking, oh yeah, it's like riding in the street. Absolutely not. But then as you get better, as you take these advice and these criticism that you guys give, now I'm in fifth gear doing this, and I'm still at an introductory level, but think about how important it is. You take the same road every day and you don't go, past 25, 30 miles an hour. And now you're hitting the same road at 85. That's a big improvement. Like, you don't see it, but when you look at it time-wise, it's a huge time difference, and it's a lot more fun. I'm going to bring in Sal, because Sal is going to bring the part that I'm always having problems with, mechanical shit, right? Bike's always fucking up. Yo, Sal, I need a wrench. Or, hey, you think you can help me with this or whatever? And Sal is the kind of guy that if you're at the track, man, something's wrong with your bike, he's one of the first guys there to help you out. And he doesn't have to do that. It's not in his job description as a coach, but he's always there to make sure that everybody's riding safe and everybody gets on the track. So Sal, give us a little bit about what you do up there in New York State.
Do a little bit of everything, mostly coaching, but the biggest thing I try to get into people during their tech inspection is, tire pressures. Maintenance on your bike means everything. No leaky fork seals, good tires, more than 50% of your brakes, all things like that equal a good track day.
Now, when we talk about, I know me and Carlos have been on the show, me and Josh talk about how hospitable the whole track is. Now, I know you're the concierge for the track. I tell people, you go up there, Sal's like front and center, he's there, his wife is out there. She's like Miss America with a fucking way. Hey, how you doing? And the dogs are barking and they're outside. And I mean, if you go to New York Safety, Sal's trailer is the trailer. It's the hangout spot. There's bikes in front of there. Sal's breaking down a bike, putting the bike together. His wife is just like being. I mean, you guys are. Listen, I got to tell the truth. You guys are the best of the best up there, and kind of explain to the people who are watching. And like I said, and I hope you don't get offended. When I first met you, I was like, oh, this fucking Nazi guy, man. He's not even. He probably won't even look at me. No, but I'm like, he's not even gonna look at me. And listen, the love you showed me, man, is beyond. I tell you, your wife I've actually gone. She's actually lent me her phone to use her hotspot for work. So I can't thank you guys enough for the love and how good you treat us new people that come up there, and anybody who comes up to New York Safety. Definitely go by, say hi to Sal, pet the dogs, meet the wife. He's that kind of guy. But I want you to tell the people watching, like, how important it is what you do outside of coaching.
Well, if I don't keep everyone's bike in order and help you have a good day, say you go down your first session and your bike's down for the day. How good was your track day? Not that good. Well, if I can come down, give you some parts, get your bike back together, and get you out there by your next session.
You might have learned something. You might have learned something real quick, though. You go down that first session, you won't do it again.
Yeah, well, who wants to go down their first session?
True.
Things happen. You know, it may not even been their fault. Bad tire, cold tires. It happens all the time with us. Me and Manny watch it all the time. You know, first session out, someone doesn't that first lap to warm up their tires. They go down, they break a clip on. You're not mechanically inclined. I usually got the parts to fix the bikes.
Yeah, it's always nice to have somebody like that to help somebody, because, you know, imagine you're there, you first session in, you know, you packed up all weekend to try to get there, and one bolt breaks, and, you know, Sal's able to get you back out on track. You know, I've seen it happen before, you know, guys ready to pack up and go home, and, you know, one bolt makes the difference, and, you know, the guy enjoys the rest of his weekend, you know, and it's awesome to see that happen.
Yeah, accidents do happen for sure. But I'm of the same mind. Last week, you know, the guests we had on, one of the things that was mentioned is about getting all the maintenance done before you go to the track. People at home, if you're going to the track, well, so my thing is that I have a track bike that I keep ready for the track, so I'm not like riding it on a daily basis. But people at home, if you're bringing your bike to the track, make sure it's ready to go for the weekend. You know, check the chain, check the tires, check the brakes, check the oil, check the coolant, check everything you could possibly check, so that you don't have to be that guy at the end of day one or in the middle of day two or even day three, even that you have to pull off the track because you spilled. You know, you're ruining the day for everybody else. The oil all shot out or the chain flew off. You know, just make sure the bike is ready to go before you go. Seriously.
Yeah. So even that, you know, we have a big problem with that actually is sometimes a lot of people are unaware of, you know, how to work on their bike or what they're looking at. You know, they're just mechanically, you know, not inclined at all. You know, they don't know what to do, what to look for, you know. So for those people, you know, there is somebody at the track besides Sal that is at the track. You know, our buddy Will, Alliance Motorsports. He's at the track almost every weekend. And, you know, he's
fuck you, Will. Fuck you, big time, Will.
You know, none of us actually.
I've been trying to get him on the show.
None of us.
Nicest guy ever.
But for some reason, you know, we bring some bikes to him, right? So for those people that are, you know, not mechanically savvy and don't know what to look for, you know, there is somebody at the track that can help you out. You know, just try to get there early or something.
What's funny though is that one thing Butter mentioned was the like the environment of New York Safety Track. I'll say honestly that the environment that I saw just this past October, I was there for, I think it was the season closer. It's literally like a family environment, right? So, you know, let's just set aside the Sals and, you know, your buddy that Will that Butter wants to curse out on the show. You know, everybody else that's parked next to you in that little, you know, paddock area, I feel like they would bend over backwards just to help you get back out there on the track. You know, if you were to come back, God forbid, you know, you have something catastrophic happen out there and you come back to the paddock and you're like, well, that's it. That's the end of my weekend. I bet there'd be 2 or 3 or 4 other people there that's like, hold on a sec. I got some stands. I got some oil. I got some wrenches. Yeah,
Oh,
let's figure this out.
Yeah.
That's the
I'll tell you.
that's the common story up there with our track, man. We've been there for a long time, and as a staff, as a team there, we try to make sure that everybody's happy. But even aside from the people that are workers or part of the
It's
team,
community.
Even regular people, regular customers, regular season pass members, regular people that came up for the weekend, just the environment itself, it's got that
I
energy,
felt the love.
it's got that
I felt that love.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'll give you a funny story. And
we really try to make sure that stays that way, and I think that's the way the place has been able to grow.
I give you a funny story about Will. Will, I love you, Will. He's the best. So one day I go to the
After
track.
you curse him out.
Yeah. I buy this Jixer garbage track bike, right? Because my friend is like, you gotta ride a Jixer. Try this Jixer. It's a track bike. I go, I buy it, no problem. Will sets it up for me, and I don't carry cash. Greg calls me Mr. Broke Ass because I don't carry cash at the track, right? Thank God my reputation exceeds me, and Greg lets me run a tab. Don't try safety. You probably won't be able to run a tab. You're not me, so don't do it. So Greg is like, yeah, don't worry, I'll charge him later, and I keep a tab and everything, right? So I go to Will, and I'm like, Will, my paper. He's like, don't worry about it. I totally forget about it. I go home. I'm in my car, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot to pay this guy. So 3 weeks later, I'm at the track, and I'm like, hey, Will, I owe you $40. And he's like, for what? I'm like, you did my bike last time I was here. He's like, I forgot about that shit. I'm like, nah, man, here's your $40. He's like, oh, dude, don't worry about it. I was like, nope, here's your $40. And that's how it is. And it's crazy because most people will be they wouldn't even let you leave the spot. Like if you go somewhere else, and trust me, you wouldn't want to have a bad reputation up there because it would definitely fuck you up. I mean, there's times where I put tires on, and I'm like, hey, Charlie, I got to pay for it. Oh, yeah, he'll get his money. He'll definitely get his money. But I would never wait for anyone to contact me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm first in line, like front and center. Like, I'd be chasing Greg down. Greg, I went to the ATM. How much do I owe you, bro? And, he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, Greg is a great guy. Those of you guys that don't know him, he's also one of the main reasons why I decided to continue going to New York Safety. There's been a lot of times where he's opened his good graces to me and my ex-wife. Like he's told like, go on the track by yourself and go ahead and do this and don't be afraid and go here. I'll give you, like, he's that guy. He's that guy that makes you welcome.
Is somebody getting attacked by a puppy over there?
Yeah,
That's my dog.
It sounds like somebody's getting eaten alive.
And listen, I got a great story that
Joelle,
I met.
that's under control.
Yeah, she's trying.
I met Sal through my buddy. Everybody who knows, I ride.
I can't even listen.
Great.
I can't even listen to that going on. It's so funny. Oh, somebody's getting eaten alive over there.
Is this live?
Everyone want a dog?
Oh yeah,
Free dog.
yeah. I take them.
You can take the crazy one.
It's a Frenchie, right?
Yeah, you can take
Send
the
me
crazy
the
one.
address. I'll pick them up this weekend.
I'll send her to you.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm in. Listen, I'm in. I'll take it. I got a great story. I met, and everybody knows that I'm attached to the track through my buddy Andrew. God rest his soul. He's the reason why I even ride track. And one of the first people he actually introduced me to was Sal. Actually, Sal was CBR 600. And my first time at the tracks, he was like, yo, this is my boy Butter. This is Sal. And I think that's why I would never forget Sal. And I'm so close to Sal because he's one of the first people I've actually met through my buddy Andrew. So a lot of people ask me like why I wear ABV Racing. So ABV Racing stands for Andrew Valentino Vispoli. Valentino's his son. And I will always represent his name on the track. So I really appreciate my friend.
Very good guy.
Yeah, one of the best, man. And I miss him dearly every day. And I think I keep his memory when I go to the track because that's basically what he kept telling me, like, go to the track, get off the street. And to think he died on the fucking street doing street shit. So, the more and more I go, the less and less I want to ride in the street. So I get what he's, but all right, Josh.
Yo, so
get him, Josh.
Actually, this is something that we've obviously talked about on the show before, just between us and between the other guests we've had that are track riders. But I'm curious for you guys, You know, from a coach's perspective, even, what is your typical track day experience like? You know, somebody at home that maybe hasn't seen one of the shows in the past that wants to get out there and experience it. I'll tell you, a lot of guys down here in the city, one, they don't even know that they can get on a track. Two, their track is like the Belt Parkway and, you know, other roads around here, so they're just totally clueless. But give the people at home some information about like what is a typical track day like. What can they experience? Either one of you.
I'm trying not to laugh with Sal being.
Yeah, for real.
Dog's gonna attack me. I'm sorry.
I'm waiting to see that thing like go on the set.
Or like jump up and latch onto his neck, like, oh god.
Yeah.
That's why they New York Safety Track does do the rookie day.
Mm.
Rookie day is for someone that's never ever been on the track. It's where we bring a lot of rookies in. It's a lot of first timers that have never been on the track. We give you your own session, so you don't have guys even in novice group in your class. You just have people. This is your first day out on the track, so you don't have to be as nervous. And I think that is a great deal for someone that wants to get into track riding to go check out.
So on a day like a rookie day, the great thing is that you're going to be on the track with a bunch of riders that are at the same level as yourself. On a typical track day, you know, you're going to come to tech in the morning, you know, at about 8 a.m. And, you know, the coaches are going to tech inspect your motorcycle, make sure that your tire pressures make sure your tires have air in them, you know, make sure your bike's not leaking fluids, make sure your bike's not falling apart. You know, it's your own responsibility to go over the bike itself, you know, to make sure that, you know, it has oil in it and, you know, major components.
Tech inspection is not the time to find out what's wrong with your bike. It should just be a time to prove that everything's good, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to end up delaying your day. But other than that, you know, after that, you know, you're going to have a riders meeting. After the riders meeting, you know, you're out on the track for your first session, and you're going to have a coach with you. Depending on what day you're on, you know, might mitigate how many people are of you with that coach. So you might have one coach like myself or Sal with, you know, give or take, you know, 10 to 15 guys, 5 to 10 guys behind you, and he's going to go nice and slow and safe around the track and make sure that you're comfortable, you know. Make sure that you get your eyes on the track first before, you know, you're ripping around and a bunch of crazy people start, you know, smashing into each other. So, you know, that's what the coaches are there for, to make sure, you know, craziness like that doesn't happen, right? And, you know, we slowly start building you up. So, you know, that's how typical track day, the rookie day, there's just more people in your group that are on the same level as you. So, you know, it kind of helps with the, you know, the pride and the, you know, testosterone thing. You know, there's no pride or testosterone at that point, man. You know, everybody's new to this at that point. You know, the guy that's sitting next to you, in front of you, behind you, he's never been there before either. So, you know, you're both there together.
Honestly, I can tell you though too, of all the tracks, all the organizations I've been to the track with, like the novice group and the intermediate group, sometimes even pushing it with the intermediate group, I like riding even more. You know, the more beginner everybody around me is, the more I feel safe, because I feel like those guys, at least, you know, if you commit to the novice class, if you commit to the novice group, you're already saying, you know what, I'm not Valentino Rossi. I'm not out here to lay down the best lap time of the day. I need to learn something. And I like being around people that want to ride like that. You know, obviously there are people in expert class too that realize they're not Valentino Rossi.
It's mostly the intermediate group.
Yo, it's crazy.
It's those guys in the middle that want to get up there.
It sucks.
It is. Am I right? Am I right, guys? It's usually the guys in the middle that a little bit more hard.
Yeah, because they think they're up there, and it's just dangerous. I hate it. Novice class is where it's at.
But it's like you said, Josh, you know, it's a big part of it is, you know, the state of mind of being, you know, am I Valentino Rossi or not? You know, and, you know, it's a big thing to realize that we're not. And to be realistic with your goals at the track, you know, before you get out there, you want to have some sort of goal. And
what do you guys look for? Like, what kind of rider do you guys look for when it comes to coaching? You know, when you're riding around and you you pass somebody or you're following somebody's line, like what is it that you look for before you tell somebody, hey, follow me or whatnot?
Well, there's a bunch of different reasons to look for people. You could look for somebody because he's riding like a jerk. You can look
Or
for
someone
somebody
struggling.
that,
Or
for
struggling.
somebody that's struggling. Somebody that's out there going real slow and they kind of off to the side, and that's dangerous at that point also.
Mhm.
So we are eager to get to that person to help them out. Other people we look for are the people that are on the brink of becoming a little faster, but they need to learn, and they're not quite sure where to go with it. And you kind of able to spot these people out. There's lots of different things to look out for out there. You look for people that are looking tense on their bike, and you constantly look out there and you try to rotate through the groups and try to give everybody as much help as you can.
So for the guys, let's say that you know well, I don't want you to like give away the keys to the castle or anything, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory to a certain extent. What does it take to get bumped from a novice class to an intermediate, and then from an intermediate to an expert? Is it something that is like written down in a rule book somewhere, like you meet these criteria, it's good, or what? How do you get bumped up?
Well, no. Well, when you come to the track, before the tech meeting actually starts, before you actually go to, register your bike, you grab me or Sal behind the hangar and you give us $20.
Yo, you had.
Yo, I was like, really?
Yo, I was
Really?
like,
Hold on a
oh,
second.
Let's hear.
God damn it.
Oh man, you had me going there for a second. Oh,
Everyone's getting all interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like ready to go. I'm like, yo, they wait.
Like, oh, there really is a secret. Holy crap.
No, there's no secret to it, man.
Just about
We're
being
not-
safe.
About being safe?
Yeah, we're not looking for a fast rider. We're looking for safety. Us as a coach, we want to be able to feel safe riding next to that other person.
Mm.
We want to be confident that that other rider, ourselves or anybody around them, is going to get home on Monday morning to their family or their job, right? And if we're not safe next to you, or we don't feel that you are safe next to others, we want to try to help you, but we're not bumping you up into a faster group where you might put yourself or somebody else in danger, right?
You concur with that, Sal?
Absolutely. Because, safety's first. If I'm not going to ride, side by side with you at 150 miles an hour, you're not going to go up to that next group. Safety is first. Holding your line's a big thing. When we're going through turns, I don't want to see you floating out. If you start to float out, you're going to take another rider out. When me and Manny are out there playing around, we'll go side by side playing with elbows with each other in the middle of turns, giving each other high fives. Been there, done that. Novice group.
I hate when you guys show off and I'm trying to like look and keep my line and watch you guys show off. But listen, Sal, can you bring your lovely wife onto the camera, please? Please.
Oh man,
Joe, you're getting called in here.
That's personal, Sal.
She. I tell you.
Let's go see if I can grab her. Hold on.
Listen, if you don't find Sal and you're at the track and she's at the trailer, she's like, oh, you need a tool? Yeah, the toolbox over there. Yeah, and it is over there. And yeah. I mean, I must have bothered her about 100 times last time. And I was waiting for her to be like,
leave me alone.
leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone.
No, she's not coming in. She's taking a nap.
Tell her we send our love and we just wanted to, let everyone know that she is the gem of New York safety track.
Will do.
So between you guys too, I know, well, you guys kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I'm curious, like, what draws you guys to coaching? What do you really like about it? There's a bunch of idiots out there. They're all trying to be dangerous. Their bikes are all broken. Why do you keep going and doing it? Why are you coaching at the track?
The smile at the end of the day when it finally clicks and they get what you've been telling them all day, and it finally clicks and they get this big smile, it honestly makes me feel good.
Yeah, because I know the pain on that great.
We'll pay. We don't get paid.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I got all these guys chiming in on you guys. So Carlos, shout out to Carlos. This is little Carlos, not big Carlos.
Uh-oh.
Certified knee dragger, little Carlos. He said, "Yo, what up, Sal, Manny? All the love in the world." Also want to shout out my mechanics. So if my bike ever fails at the track, you could always blame Mikey Moto, but that will never happen. I got the best mechanic in the business, hands down. I'll put him up against anybody. No offense, Sal. I know you're good, but you're 6 hours away, bro.
Hey, I just do it for help.
I've seen you drop that whole front end. That last time I was there, you dropped the whole front end on the bike, ready to go. Like, this shit would have took me a week to get back from the mechanic.
Got to get it done.
Yo, since we were just talking about Carlos, awesome. I just wanted to say too, they already got events planned out. New York certified knee draggers at New York Safety, at least 2 events. Let's see here. On May
7th.
Yep.
May 7th and July 17th and 18th. Now, as coaches, can you tell these people, because I will be hosting the certified knee draggers rookie novice event. So can you please tell the people watching how good of a fucking weekend Carlos puts on?
Oh, it's good. I'll be there. I'll be coaching for all of his days too.
You're waiting for the strippers, right? To get the bike wash, right? That's what...
Oh, I'm all good on that. I seen that last time. I'll leave that one for you.
Yo, I saw the videos. I'll be there for
that. Yo, when we talk about New York Safety, we always show love to everybody. And I was trying to get Redneck Charlie on the show. Redneck is a lot like you guys. He's a really great person to be around. He's fun. What is your relationship with him at the track? Because he is like, everybody talks about Redneck Charlie at the track.
He's the godfather.
I see it. And there's so many people that I've met, and I'm bad with names, but even Scott, like from Moto D Ring, he's always up there, always promoting his brand and stuff like that. And I appreciate a lot of the stuff that he does. I think what I try to understand a little bit more is, why can this place be so much closer to New York City, man? I sometimes can't ride the ride. I get up there and I'm like, I want to go to sleep after driving up there. But what is the nightlife? For the people that go up the night before, I know Sal, your trail, the lead trailer, the party trailer, everybody's hanging out. What is a typical night at the track? Like, see some guys like me, I pussy out. I go stay at a bed and breakfast or a hotel. You guys actually stay at the track. Can you just tell us what am I missing? Please.
Well, usually it's me ripping a bike apart and everyone making fun of me doing it. I'm trying to change my tires, but honestly, the nightlife is great. We usually all cook dinner. We have big family dinners together and have a couple drinks.
Am I back?
You're back.
We see you, man.
I'm back. All right. Are we talking about Sal's nightlife?
Well, New York Safety nightlife. It's talking about how we do our big fans and stuff like that, and it's great.
I was telling Sal that I'm a pussy and I go stay at the bed and breakfast because I want to sleep nice and not sleep in the tent or in my truck. So I know you guys have a lot of fun at the track. So fill me in on I'm missing.
So just so you know, I am actually an old man. And for the other old people out there, I do go retreat back into my trailer very early on the other side of the bushes where it is nice and quiet.
Nobody blames you.
So for those that want to come up with their trailers and be quiet, you just have to not park near Sal.
Hey, it's quiet by 10 o'clock. We got a quiet time.
So now I hear that there is an actual shooting range at the track. Is that accessible to customers?
There is a shooting range. You would definitely have to call and talk to the track about any specifics on that stuff. It's definitely not like an open for everybody kind of thing. You definitely have to call the track and get whatever information there is on that. To be honest, I kind of don't really know much on that.
I wanted to bring up my arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I could target practice here in the neighborhood. So I got a question that I think was really good. We'll start with Sal first. Sal, street bike, track bike, best tires for the street, best tires for the track. Give me your opinion.
Q4s. I run
Oh,
Q4s all
snap.
the time. I run Q4 all the time at the track, but I don't ride the street anymore, so I couldn't tell you how they handle.
You definitely, because I know you're at the track a lot, so I barely don't
Every
need the
weekend. That's why I'm saying you're complaining about 3 hours. I do it every weekend. Come on.
You don't have the life I live.
Oh, I know.
Wait, where do you go every
I wish-
weekend though? You're up in like the coldest part of New York. Where do you go every weekend? Yeah.
Nowheres. Safety track.
Oh,
He's at safety track. I don't think I've ever been there. Never saw him.
he's got
him or
he's
man.
got the behind
They're
the
like
scenes.
furniture up
Okay,
there, so.
okay. I got you.
Yeah, they're like furniture. These two guys. Manny, what do you think? Street tires, track tires.
Street tires, track tires. I mean, you could run Q3s, Q4s, either which way. I think you can kind of define a Q4 more as a track/street. Your Q3 more of a street/track. If that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
I have Q3s on my street bike. I have Goodyears on my Supermoto track bike, but that's just because it's a Supermoto.
And that does the trick.
Yeah, the Goodyear Supermoto tires are unbelievable.
Those are almost slicks though, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are slicks. Yeah, I've seen them bitches before.
Yeah, they are slicks. Yeah.
So that's good.
Manny makes it look so easy when he's on his Supermoto. It's so, I get so jealous. I learned this recently from a fellow Supermoto dirt bike rider. When you ride a dirt bike, it makes riding a street bike a lot easier. I never realized that. They all say the same thing.
Yeah, it depends on your comfort level, really. I mean, they're different. Same concepts, just different ride, I guess. Different riding position, but same ideas. With the brake and loading that front end. Making sure you got those that tire down on the ground, obviously. Weighting those pegs and same ideas, but definitely a completely different feel. Going from your Supermoto to a sport bike is completely different world.
It's funny you mentioned loading. So that's something I learned while I was in your class, and would like for you to elaborate. That never been to a track, how important it is, that whole dynamic of tire pressure, loading the front tire. And I know you're not going to be able to give it to me in 2 minutes, but give me the quick understanding of how important that is when you're riding and going into a turn.
So, when, a lot of us don't realize that we want to keep that front tire gripped down to to the our contact point as best as possible. We really want to get that feeling from that contact point as best as possible. Hold on 1 second, guys. I might have just lost power here. Sorry.
We can still hear you.
We still hear you.
No, but his lights went out. Oh, snap. Pay your light bill.
He spent all his money on bike parts this week.
Hey, there you go. Yo, while we have a minute though, I just want to say we kind of mentioned it before. Certified knee draggers, New York Safety Track, May 7th, New York Safety, June 6th and 7th at New York Safety, July 18th.
No, June has been rescheduled. Okay. We're gonna reschedule June. So let's start with the May 7th. If you want to get on May 7th, if you're a rookie or a novice, you can reach out to me at Hustle Kings, BTA, Hustle King NYC on Instagram, or you can call me if you got my number if you're interested. We're going to be having a crazy, crazy, crazy day on May 7th. So I'm definitely going to be in there. Reach out to me. Only rookies. And I mean, if you're intermediate and expert and you don't know certified knee draggers or you don't know Carlos, and just let me know. I'll take care of it for you on my end. But definitely going to be a great weekend. Sal, So being that Manny's off, can you elaborate more on what we were just talking about, how important it is to load the front?
Well, if you don't load your front tire, it's obviously not going to work out well. Loading your front tire means everything, and that's applied through braking pressure and body position. And if you don't keep the pressure there, you're obviously going to lose your front. And I'll let Manny jump back onto it.
Sorry, hi. Yeah, my wife turned the lights out on me. So when we say load up that front end, what we're really talking about is being as efficient as possible on that front brake lever. Everything that we do on these motorcycles comes through that front brake lever. We want to develop that feel of that front brake lever to ensure that we're getting that front tire to have great contact. We're going to use that front brake lever as efficiently as possible to compress those front forks nice and easy, nice and smooth, so that we don't smash down that tire, right? As soon as we smash down that tire, we grabbed that front brake lever too hard. Grab is a very ugly word, right? We want to squeeze down on this thing. Anytime we thing violently, abruptly, that suspension smashes down, we exhaust the suspension. The tire smashes down. It loses its shape. Okay. Wouldn't you rather go through the turn on a round tire than a flat tire?
Absolutely.
Right? So a lot of guys don't realize that, when we smash down on those brakes, you're deforming that tire, right? You're exhausting that front suspension. So
now just correct me if and if I get it wrong, you can deny that you taught me. If I get it right, you can accept that you did teach me. So when we're trail braking, I mean, the whole art of trail braking, before even trail braking, your suspension has to be set. The tire pressure is very, very important.
Yeah, tire pressure is very important. I also don't want to misconvey that the tire pressure message there. A lot of new riders might hear that message and say, "Oh, I have to make sure, I'm exactly at that tire pressure that I need."
There's a range depending on the tire.
Yeah, most tire pressures are pretty good, give or take 30 psi, depending on what kind of tire we're running. Some race guys, you might hear those tire pressures go down really low, but it's all according to application and that rider. At a earlier stage of riding track days, a pound of pressure here and there isn't going to make or break your day. So don't get too set on the idea that that I pushed through that turn because my front tire was set at high and not 30 psi. That didn't happen. Your bike pushed through that turn because you didn't use the brakes properly, because you stared in the grass. There's 1,000 other reasons that happened.
Nope, I'm Valentino Rossi, and it's because of the tire pressure. Thank you.
yeah, exactly. And believe it or not, we actually get that answer.
I've been riding for 20 years. I know.
But we do get.
Hey, Sal. So I just want to elaborate on. So a lot of people I've watched. After you told me about where my feet should be, like I watch a lot of these riders in the street, and I'm like, wow, if Sal were to get a hold of these guys, he'd clip their fucking toes. Can you explain? Yeah, it's now you always have me watching how people ride. Can you explain, being that you criticized me on my flat foot riding skills and about to lose?
Getting up on the balls of your feet actually helps you do two things. It helps you maneuver around on your bike a little bit better, but on the bigger note of that, it gets you on the furthest point of the motorcycle, which helps you turn in the motorcycle a little bit easier by using the outer balls of your feet.
Yo, actually, I can't even ride flat-footed on the pegs anymore. If I'm not on the balls of my feet, I feel awkward. Like I'm doing something terribly wrong.
Yeah. And what's scary is actually, like we're referring to what we was talking about before, was you have guys that have been riding 20 years flat-footed. On their
27
heels.
And I was flat-footed.
That's what I'm saying, man. And once you open up the idea that, listen, let's try something different, and let's try to get the bike to function the way it was designed to function. Now it opens up a whole different world.
The funny thing is when I first met Manny, right, and he's teaching us at the class about riding on the balls of your feet. So he goes over his shoes and he's showing you like the holes. And he has holes in the bottom of his shoes, right? Because he's fucking going so hard. My first impression was,
it's just because I'm cheap and I don't buy new.
Yeah, exactly. But then I realized how I went through a whole set of shoes in a season, listening to what you taught me, but I rode better. So I'm like, okay, this is the consequence of riding better. These little things. You're gonna wear and tear on your bike, but I think most people ride flat-footed so they don't fuck up their nice boots. Because there's people that are gonna ride up there and they're gonna try to keep their shit clean and nice, and they don't want to get down and dirty. It's just fun.
Yeah, no, it's track gear, and it's meant to be, it's designed to work in a certain way. Like even if you look at, I think it's Sal who makes them. Speedy makes
replaceable bottoms
with the replaceable. Yeah, so and if you remember my boot where the hole was on the bottom, I think Speedy makes a replaceable puck for that little exact spot. So that gives you an idea of how much thought.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's
it's how real it quick works. Shout out to Chachi Luscious. Thank you so much for just smashing that subscribe button. We appreciate it. Just popped up right now. Sorry.
I asked. So Sal, Manny, what do you prefer? Now, because this is always a question I ask you guys that ride hard. Helmet brand, Manny, what do you prefer?
Man, this is a hard one though.
This is the easiest.
Really?
There's no other.
Oh snap! Okay.
And I know what he's gonna say.
There's no name brand but Arai.
Thank you.
I like my bells.
Oh snap!
Arai. If I had to put something else on besides an Arai, it would be a bell.
I tried the Bell Mips, the Star. I don't know how you like that one, Sal. The only problem I had with because when I put it on, it felt like a glove. I just felt front was too close to my lip, and that's what deterred me from buying it. But I mean, for a $600 helmet, it was like a perfect. I mean, it was like it molded right into my head as I put it on.
They're light too. That's what I like about my Bell helmet. It's super light.
Everybody has their preference. That's why I asked. And as for race,
you asked because you knew he was gonna say all right. That's why you asked. Let's be honest.
What do you prefer for track gear?
No, but there are other good helmets, but no joke. I've owned other helmets, but nothing fits like an Arai, man. Like around the cheeks, nothing fits like an Arai. And then they have the different head shapes. So depending what size, what shape your head is, Arai really has you covered, man. And I've been riding with them for since I don't know, forever.
Truth be told, actually, so this behind me, this is an Icon helmet. This is one of the ones I actually bought when I was in Japan from the US. Well, long story short though, my favorite helmet though is still to this day a Shoei that I bought in Japan. And but the head shape is way different. I've put on the same helmet here in the States, and it is designed differently for the U.S. market than it is for the Japanese market.
Absolutely, yeah.
It feels so much better. That too, European as well. But the Japanese Shoei, just for me, it just feels so much better. So next time I have to order a new helmet, I'm probably going to be asking somebody that's over there or trying to ship it from some ghetto website or whatever, because it just felt so much better to me.
But on a good note though, is if your helmet doesn't fit, it's part of getting comfortable with your motorcycle. If you got a helmet that doesn't fit, gloves that don't fit, and a suit that doesn't fit, and boots that don't fit, you will not get comfortable on your motorcycle, and your day won't go good.
True.
Manny can pick right up on this one.
Yeah, there's a big one right there, man. That's
it's huge
for everybody that's looking to come to the track. Like, I can't tell you how many people over the years struggle at the track hard, and they never realize that the struggle is because their helmet's too big,
or their suit's too big, or their boots were too big, and they didn't feel comfortable in their suit or their boots or their helmet, so they didn't feel comfortable on their bike, and it's huge.
I can testify to that. The first time I rode the Jigsaw that I bought, I had gotten a suit from Historic GP. Shout out to Salim who did my suits. I I put on the suit, and I had a kangaroo custom fitted suit. 80% of the time, I was just trying to handle the bike. The suit didn't really bother me. I had the perfect suit on, perfect shoes on, I had my helmet. Everything else was just focused on the bike. So it made my day so much more different trying to accustom myself to a new bike and not have, I mean, everybody tries to cut corners. You know, I know you guys have suit makers, you know, everybody, we all have our own suit guys, or we get suits from certain people. Dude, I can't stress this enough. I know people riding around in $20,000 motorcycles and they want to be cheap on gear. And it just, it bugs me. I see dudes riding around Panigales with speed and strength helmets. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, like what the fuck? And it's just crazy because without the suit, the ride don't mean shit. Like if you're not comfortable, like it makes no sense riding this beautiful fucking bike if you don't know how to ride it or you're uncomfortable riding it. You know what I mean? So I get it.
I mean, especially for us as coaches over there, you know, the amount of time we spend on the track, you know, just the likelihood of something going wrong is, you know, higher than, you know, your average track rider. You know, we pride ourselves on not crashing, you know. I know there's me out there, so I don't want to hear that yet. But you know, the reason we spend the money on the protective gear, the best protective gear we can, is so when things do happen, you know, we can be confident that we're not going to get hurt, and that alone makes you a more confident rider. You know, you're on that bike, futzing around with crummy gear, you know, wondering, you know, if I hit the floor, is this leather going to burn off of me and melt on my skin?
So that's a good thing that you guys can answer. Like, so can you just let the people at home who even people who watch that like to just go out like a squid, please explain how fast certain crashes you've seen with dudes with full gear and they walk away from it. I mean, you've probably seen it countless times.
You can go on to I think it's on the safety track page on Facebook, right? A video of me going down in proper gear. It was a very proper crash. Very tuck and roll. I know Sal knows what I'm talking about.
That was a fun day.
Yeah. So and but you can see that, you know, it was a high speed crash, and you know, I had me and the bike up, you know, within no time, you know, making sure I was okay. The bike was okay, but the reason I was able to is because, you know, I do have an airbag vest on, which we're big advocates of at the track. You know, I do have, you know, proper gloves, I have proper boots, you know, I got proper suit on. You know, one of the scarier things that we see at the track, you know, on rookie days or some days, you know, I'll go up and down the paddock and I'll see guys in like tactical boots and their suit, you know, not riding boots, you know, like Timberlands, you know, construction boots. You know, I saw one guy out there in welding gloves. You know,
so I kind of support an unpopular opinion, especially amongst us track riders, in that, you know, like Sal said, he doesn't ride in the city. Manny, I mean, you have a street bike too, but you probably don't, like me, I don't really enjoy riding in the city. Butter, I know he stays away from the 5 boroughs, you know, at all costs. But I still ride, not at the track, but not in the city. And one of the comments, you know, tonight from Fernie Flores, he's like, I have a speed and strength helmet. Glad to know it's shitty. Honestly, dude, it's not that the helmet is shitty. It's, you know, if you're going to the track, though, you can expect that you're going to be in a high speed. You know, if something were to go down and shit hits the fan, you want to have the best gear possible, you know? And that can also be said when you're around traffic and like concrete barriers and things of that nature too. But let's be honest, we can't all go out and buy $1,200 helmets or even $600 helmets. You gotta at least have something to protect yourself. Timberland boots, well, they're probably not gonna stand up to too much, honestly. You know, they might look good.
That's the thing. A lot of guys also, you know, they'll go for, you know, a more expensive designed helmet versus, let's just imagine a plain Jane white Arai helmet, you know, and the Arai helmet's $400, and it's way safer than, let's imagine, you know, I don't know, your speed and strength for, you know, 500-600 bucks, but it doesn't have a whole bunch of glitter and God knows what on it, you know. So, you know, that's also the other,
I mean,
you
even
know,
this helmet that's sitting
thought.
behind me, it's, you know, like I said, it's a little bit older Icon Airflight. It's heavy. I would never wear it to a track. They have helmets that maybe are designed for that purpose, but it's DOT certified at least. You know, it's not some
Yeah.
knockoff helmet that you get on eBay. It's a, you know, a pretty respectable at least DOT helmet for 300
Yeah,
bucks or less.
yeah, you know, all these name brands make respectable equipment,
Mm.
you know. But it's like you said before, you know, if you're on the track, you know, and you're doing this constantly, you know, you want to be confident that.
Well, some people just want to flip out when you have that idea, though. All the gear, all the time. You know, just the top of the line gear for going to the grocery store. I'm not that guy though. Like, I'm not suiting up to go everywhere. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know,
I mean,
and that's a nice thing at the track. You know, we also do the rental gear.
Mm.
So you know the new people that you know come, you know they don't know what they're doing yet. You know you don't have to go spend a whole bunch of money on a whole bunch of stuff yet, and you know you can get the rental gear at the track. And we're going to be having all new gear at the track this season also. So you know that's going to be a nice thing. I'm pretty sure we're going to be picking up all new gloves and suits and
that's
you know
awesome.
all new
That's
everything.
pretty
So
awesome.
Just make sure it's all
you know,
I mean,
make
there's
sure
a
it's disinfected.
there's a lot of but even though there's a lot of like right now, I'm actually in talk. I'm going to be in talks with Rick Prince from Parts Unlimited. They run Icon. Icon got some really cool stuff, not super expensive. I've gone through some catalogs. Cortech has some decent boots for like a decent price. You know, you don't have to spend $300-400 on some Robert boots or
and
Alpine Stars.
it's all great equipment out there. You know, really, it really
Mm.
is. You know, just get something that fits you well, it makes you comfortable. If you can, you know, go for function over look, and you know, you just want to make sure that you're confident in your safety, and that's about it. You
For
know.
sure. Actually, Icon specifically, I think back in the day, I don't know about you guys and your experience with the brand, but like I had a lot of Icon gear when I was getting into bikes and like first coming up in the world, and I really liked the style, and it was decently protective. And I
Yeah.
think though, honestly, in the past handful of years, Icon has really made a big jump to try and like get their foot in the door for track riders, like the hypersport suits and you know all the apparel they have.
Yeah, I've seen them
That's kind of crazy,
actually.
you know. They're trying to play with the big boys now, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I mean it's nice to see any of these name brands, you know, step it up to kind of, you know, make it safer, you know, and you know if they have, you know, a hold on a demographic that you know likes the, you know, the jazzier looking
Mm.
stuff, you know, why not, you know, make it safer for them, you know,
You know,
that's really what it comes down to,
you
make
go
it
to the
safe.
big name manufacturers, you know, like the Alpine Stars and the CD and the Speedy and all these other companies, and they don't really have too many like far out there tracksuits or
Ah,
designs
yeah,
of
like
helmets.
crazy cool.
Yeah, but Icon, they try and push that envelope. They do the weird designs. They do the
Yeah,
crazy colors. I
yeah,
like that. I like that a
cool.
lot, actually. I'm interested to see what they
Yeah,
come out with.
it's super cool.
But in any case, yo, fellas, it's about
Yeah,
9:15. You think we should probably start winding it down right about now?
Yes,
All
yeah.
right.
sir.
My
Break
wife
All
it
right.
is
So
down.
what we're gonna do though,
probably
before we get out of here, let's go around the room. Let's give our guests an opportunity to kind of shout out the people at home and let everybody know what's going on. Sal, let's start with you. First off, thanks for being here, both you guys. Really appreciate it. You guys are a wealth of knowledge and wisdom.
An
Yeah,
honor to be on the phone with you guys.
sure, for
It
sure.
was great
Thank you.
guys having us, man. It really was.
But Sal, let's start with you, man. Like, shout out the people at home. Let the people know what's going on.
I just want to give a shout out to my girlfriend Joelle, and you know, drag over at New York Safety Track, and you know, everyone for supporting me and letting me be a part of their track experience every time they come, and it's really about it.
Right on. Thanks, man. Manny, what you got?
You know, safety track, you know, obviously. Come check it out. When you come to safety track, you know, check out our Riders Academy days. It's, you know, private school that we do. We do, you know, the private sessions, one-on-one days. You know, hopefully we'll have our own private days this year, hopefully. It's been a great program for everybody. Riders Academy, and I don't know, man. I think that's all I really got, dude.
Right on.
It was you guys having us on here. It was a really good time, man.
That's good stuff. Butter, what you got, man? I know there's a ton going on. What you got? What you got to share?
Yeah, no. Just shout out to everybody who's on the check-in show, and Manny and Sal. There's a lot of guys from the track just chiming in, and even the regular guys. So what's his name? Fernando, hit me up on the Instagram. I will get you a significant discount on an Arai, HJC, or Shui, whatever you feel good. I'll take care of it. Just come see me. For those guys that never been to the track, please hit me up. Carlos and Sal do private lessons. They're amazing coaches. The fees are reasonable for what they do. Again, you're in a sport that requires a lot of money, not because that's what it is. It's just for safe. I always say you're not going to ride such an expensive motorcycle or put your life on the line and not invest in it. Invest in a private coach. Invest on one-on-one. I've been privileged to have Manny give me tips. I mean, just me and him and Sal. So I've been blessed to have those guys just give me knowledge you can't pay for the knowledge that these guys give you. So taking out a day, if you want to come in as a new rider, hit me up. I will introduce you. I have these guys on my phone. We're good friends. Listen, I want to promote the sport as best as possible. Ladies, if you're out there and you want to ride, do not think it's a man's sport. There's a lot of ladies up here at the track. These guys can tell you there's tons of females that come up there. Ladies, if you want to get a one-on-one session, reach out to me. I can get you in touch with these guys. Greg is so flexible. And I really hope that there is some private lesson days because I could use some private lessons myself. It's amazing up there. For anybody who wants to come up there, it's just really, really, really amazing. And I want to thank you guys for coming on. Sal, please tell your wife I send all my love. And if you really want to get rid of the dog, I'll take them. I love your dogs. You got the coolest fucking dogs at the track, man. So
Thanks.
definitely sign me up. Definitely. Josh, man, thanks. This is another great show, even with the small glitch.
Yeah. So again, I'd like to say sorry to all you people at home that were waiting patiently for the show to come on. We had some technical difficulties. I promise it probably will happen again at some point in time, but not this particular thing.
Until he buys a fucking Mac computer. That's
nah.
Fucking Mac. He's like the Suzuki guy. That's what he is. The Suzuki guy just die with his Suzuki.
No Macs for me. But again, as I said in the beginning, thanks to all you folks that subscribe to our YouTube during the show. We really appreciate that for sure. It's gonna allow us to actually expand the channel and do some greater things later on. Anybody that followed us on Instagram this past week, thank you so much. Like, we had an outpouring of love after this photo shoot last week. That's crazy stuff. We really appreciate that too.
And if you want some Beyond the Apex gear, just DM me or DM Josh. We got shirts, we got white t-shirts. Hit us up with sizes. We're gonna have some new era hats.
I want to do this actually. I want to give some stuff away. So do this tonight. If you're watching right now, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Send me your YouTube username or just send me your name on Instagram to thereal.beyondtheapex and let me know your YouTube name and also your favorite helmet brand. And I'm gonna send you some information. We'll get you some free Beyond the Apex swag. That'll be worth your while, I promise, just for subscribing.
It's coming. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, we got hats, we got sleeves, we got all kinds of stuff coming out.
For sure. And other than that, I think that was it. Pretty much a great show. I enjoyed myself. I enjoy our guests. Thank you guys again for being on. Don't forget to subscribe. And as I always say, leave this world better than you